You may have noticed that there is no intro for today's video. In light of all the control issues here on this platform, I wanted to say this within the first few sentences so that anyone who accuses this video of anything that is an ist basically has no leg to stand on in terms of lying about us, as some do, because the message is right here at the beginning. The critique of Michelle Rejwan isn't because she's a woman, it's because nepotism isn't only unethical, but it creates a stagnant Hollywood full of terrible ideas. There's a lot more to the video, but for the goldfish in the audience, thanks for watching. We don't discriminate against any species here on this channel.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
I may seem late to the party on this topic, but I've been doing my research and quality takes time. I've been known to have a pretty good bullshit meter. I first caught wind of something funny back at the beginning of June when I saw this announcement that no one in the fandom menace was talking about. Kathleen Kennedy's new job. Kathleen Kennedy named chair of AFI Board of Trustees. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy has been elected chair of the AFI Board of Trustees, the org announced Thursday. She succeeds Howard Stringer, who served in the role since 1999. It is a distinct honor to be elected as chair of the AFI Board of Trustees, said Kennedy. AFI's commitment to the power of storytelling, coupled with its profound respect for the past, is an inspiration in our modern day, and I look forward to working with the trustees and the incomparable Bob Daly, with the goal to shine an even greater light upon impact stories have in our nation and around the world. So this is more work for Kathleen Kennedy. I know she's busy running Lucasfilm into the ground, but it's commendable that she's going to do more. Initially, I figured that this topic alone wasn't enough to make a video out of, but much like Hollywood, it's the thing with the least substance and experience that gets the most attention. 11 days after Kathleen Kennedy's mildly interesting appointment to the AFI Board of Trustees, Lucasfilm announced that Michelle Rejwan has joined the Lucasfilm executive team.
Who?
Exactly. Meet our Senior Vice President of Live Action Development and Production. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy has named Michelle Rejwan as Senior Vice President of Live Action Development and Production for Lucasfilm. Rejwan will oversee a new slate of feature films and episodic series for Lucasfilm and Disney+, and continue to produce with Kennedy as Star Wars enters an exciting new chapter in storytelling. I've had the opportunity to work with Michelle over the last 7 years as a producer on both The Force Awakens and now The Rise of Skywalker, and we have seen firsthand her talent for working with writers and directors, and I've been incredibly impressed by her creative skills and her ability to manage the complexities surrounding these massive projects, says Kennedy. I know the importance of building a team that you trust and have fun working with. It's paramount to our success. There's an exciting momentum building around the future of the franchise, and both myself and the Lucasfilm team look forward to working with Michelle in shaping the future in all areas of story development, from theatrical film development to live-action content for Disney+. Rejwan comes poised for the role as a member of the Lucasfilm Brain Trust since 2015. She brings with her a decade of production experience from Bad Robot Productions, where she was part of filmmaker J.J. Abrams' producing team on films such as Super 8, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. Rejwan is currently producing the final episode of the Skywalker saga, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, with Kennedy and Abrams. So if you're like me, you've never heard of Michelle Rejwan. You don't obsess over J.J. Abrams' assistants. You think calling her an assistant sounds a little harsh or sexist for the weak-minded fools out there? Get the Star Wars reference? No, assistant is not my title for her, but the official title for her on IMDb. So here's her list of accomplishments, and thankfully it only requires one screenshot, because there's not a lot. As you can see, she started on Curb Your Enthusiasm as a casting assistant in 2005, 40-Year-Old Virgin, casting assistant, The Office, casting assistant, The Force Awakens, additional voices, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, assistant to Mr. Abrams, Morning Glory, assistant to Mr. Abrams, Curb Your Enthusiasm TV series, 5 episodes, assistant to Jeff Garlin, producer, Rise of Skywalker, Monster Challenge, The Force Awakens as a co-producer, Star Trek The Secrets of the Universe, a TV movie documentary, Star Trek Into Darkness as a co-producer, and Super 8. She also did additional voice work for Lego The Force Awakens, so that means a whole hell of a lot to me. Okay, so she has some experience outside of assisting J.J. Abrams. I'm a fair man. I like seeing people given opportunities. But besides just being a fair man, I'm also a cautious one. Because there's a parallel here, and that's what has me worried. We've all been thinking it, and it's probably the title of this video, but Michelle Rejwan is the new Kathleen Kennedy. And sadly, that confirms the one thing we should all fear. J.J. Abrams is the new Spielberg. Except worse. Think about it, hero. The Abrams-Rejwan relationship, professional of course, and the Spielberg-Kennedy relationship are the same thing, just 40 years apart. A young woman working hard behind the scenes and a powerful director who notices her, join forces, and he gets her ready for prime time. Then she takes the reins of Star Wars and just kills it. Kills it dead. with fire and feminism. Okay, maybe that last part was a little harsh, but the alliteration was incredible. I'm world class for a reason. Just because of the digital climate we operate in, let's make it clear for all the bots, you know, the ones Ryan Johnson loves, that any points made aren't because of the love box blow on the producer, it's because she's worked on a handful of projects and her role didn't help the film succeed.
Message!
Of the handful of films Rejwan has been a part of, 3 are a part of a massive franchise: Star Wars, Star Trek, and Mission Impossible. All were hugely successful before she teamed up with J.J. Abrams. I tell you this because for those who want to dismiss criticism, I'll see you and raise you a lack of experience. This all boils down to one thing: nepotism. Nepotism isn't an ice cream flavor. That's Neapolitan. Nepotism is the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. You know, upon further review, this doesn't sound like nepotism, it's more like cronyism. And for those who don't know what cronyism is, it's the appointment of friends and associates to positions of authority without proper regard for their qualifications. Now that we know what it is, let's look at the ethicality of all of it. One of the most basic themes in ethics is fairness, stated this way by Aristotle. Equals should be treated equally and unequals unequally. Favoritism, cronyism, and nepotism all interfere with fairness because they give undue advantage to someone who does not necessarily merit this treatment. In the public sphere, favoritism, cronyism, and nepotism also undermine the common good. When someone's granted a position because of connections rather than because he or she had the best credentials and experience, the service that person renders to the public may be inferior. I don't think anyone would argue that the sequel trilogy is inferior to the original trilogy. Hell, you may go so far as to rank the prequel trilogy above it, and I'd agree. But my main concern is that Star Wars suffers. People who may listen to this channel may think that I hate Star Wars, and you'd be wrong. Just the Disney stuff. Though Rogue One was pretty good. Call me crazy? Well, don't call me crazy. I'm not. But I think this world deserves a better class of entertainment. Under J.J. Abrams, we get this retread, remake, rehash, I couldn't think of anything else. But what happens under J.J. Abrams is that we get stagnant, boring crap. I'm gonna make a Star Trek film. Better rip off The Wrath of Khan. I'm gonna make a Star Wars film. Better rip off A New Hope. I'm gonna make another Star Wars film. Return of the Jedi? We're coming for you. My main concern with the Michelle Rejwans of the world isn't the producer's pudenda. It's the agenda and the lack of progression. To me, progressive entertainment isn't pushing wacky ideologies, it's giving us something we didn't even know we wanted. I want Hollywood to progress past the garbage of today, but with Rejwan, it's just going to be more JJ junk and Kathleen Kennedy sewage. Ask yourself, how is Star Wars better with Kathleen Kennedy in charge? How has the brand evolved? If you're an honest person and not some weirdo who hate watches these videos, you know the answer is that it hasn't. People in the access media tell us that modern Star Wars makes us have the conversations that we need to have. What is that conversation? Somebody help me. I'm lost. The cronyism in entertainment insulates Hollywood from new ideals, not just new ideas. We know what the agenda of these people in power are. It's safe to assume they all think the same way, hold the same values, and put them in pre-existing franchises. What Hollywood needs is a new American zoetrope, a new wave of creators, not talking heads in suits, who make films they're passionate about, not films made by a committee.
I am not a committee!
Yes. Yes, you are. Nobody loves a J.J. Abrams film. They love what he ripped off. Do you love Star Trek Into Darkness, or do you really love The Wrath of Khan? Do you love The Force Awakens, or do you really love A New Hope? Are you a Super 8 fan, or a Goonies fan? You see what I'm doing here? There's an old saying in Hollywood, it's not who you know, it's who you blow. Out of the water with your creativity and work ethic. Geez, you anti-Phantom Menacers are seriously sick. If I can be serious for just a minute here, and this is the only time I will be, Michelle Rejwan isn't the issue. J.J. Abrams is. Hollywood is full of hollow remakes and bad reboots, and J.J. Abrams is partially responsible for all this crap. If you like the direction Hollywood is going in, then good for you. Enjoy the crap you watched 20 years ago, but somehow less interesting. If you're like the rest of us, hang on, lady, we're going for a ride. Thankfully, we're in a situation where J.J. Abrams is just sticking to ruining Star Wars. Fuck. More on that next time. So that's it for today, folks. If I sound a little different, well, I had to get a new microphone, and the settings aren't properly calibrated on this one, so if I sound a little louder than usual, I apologize. But the quality of the content is the same. And this was something that I needed to talk about. I know everyone was talking about Michelle Rejwan 10 days ago, but 10 days ago, I wasn't ready. Now I am, and we had this discussion. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you think, based on what we've shown, is Michelle Rejwan credible enough to take over for the position in Lucasfilm that she's been appointed to? Or are you like me and see, it's just some nepotism, some cronyism at play? At the end of the day, no matter how you feel, one thing is the truth. Star Wars has suffered. There's so much controversy around Star Wars, and it's self-inflicted by Lucasfilm and Disney. They make these bad decisions. They don't understand what Star Wars is, or was, or should be. With them, it's always about watering it down, making it more palatable for people who don't like Star Wars. And I don't like that, and neither do you. Star Wars was great. It was a multi-billion-dollar franchise before anything else was a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Through toys, books, video games, comic books, and everything else, because Star Wars has been on everything throughout history. And Disney somehow took a franchise that was already commercially tapped and made it hollow and lifeless. I guess that's respectable because you did it in 4 years, which is a record time. I mean, within the first 4 years of Star Wars, we were waiting on Return of the Jedi, which people were really excited for. The Rise of Skywalker? Not so much. But as always, folks, thanks for watching. We appreciate you here in the Fandom Menace. We couldn't do it without you. So do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button, and share this all over social media. As we talked about the change in the platform earlier in the video, it's been affecting all of us here, and it kind of sucks, to be completely honest. You know, we're working hard, we're putting out great content, and it's just not reaching the same audience. So do us a favor and go the extra mile for the Fandom Menace. If you're a big fan of this channel, World Class Bullshitters, check out our Patreon page. $1 a month gets you access to our bonus podcast, World Class Bullshitters After Hours, but $5, which is only 17 cents a day, gets you access to the podcast, the commentaries, and all kinds of other exclusive stuff, and there's more the higher you go in the tiers. I'm about to record a Spider-Man 2 commentary for our listeners out there, so if you love the movie the way I do, be prepared because that'll be coming your way relatively soon. Another aspect of our community is, well, the community. So if you're looking for friends, join our Facebook group, World Class Bullshitters. We got a lot of great people. People make friendships, relationships. It's a great place to be and show the true power of the Fandom Menace. So folks, I'll be back next time with more. But until then, be excellent to each other.